Anger amongst residents of Hampshire's Waterlooville is reaching boiling point as government plans emerge to move illegal migrants into the local area. Locals say that they are being kept in the dark over a so-called secret plan to house illegal migrants in £250,000 flats. Some are warning that it could be the final nail in the coffin for what they call a Zombieland high street. Residents in this once thriving town are in uproar after reports emerged that the Home Office intends to relocate approximately 35 asylum seekers into a new apartment block, with each flat estimated to fetch around £250,000 on the open market. Locals claim that they were never consulted about the plans. Many describe the high street as a modern-day Zombieland, a deserted, lifeless place where shops are boarded up and footfall has plummeted. Waterlooville has seen big-name stores like Waitrose, Wilko, Peacocks and Game leave its high street over the past few years. A Wetherspoons has remained, but residents say they are worried about a lack of life in the town and how it could lead to migrant men loitering around. Local resident Steve said he's lived in the town his entire life and he would be worried now to let his 13-year-old granddaughter go out up the high street. He told the Daily Mail, "There's no criminal history checks on these people. It's easy to get swept up in that aspect, but it's not just that. I think it will attract trouble for us as well as the migrants." So far, there's been no official comment from the Home Office or even the local council. The lack of transparency is fueling frustration across the community. Writing in the Telegraph, former Home Secretary Suella Braverman blasted the council's failure to respond to the Home Office when they communicated plans to relocate the migrants in her constituency. The former Home Secretary also recently appeared on GB News to speak on the issue.
Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living, and maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind the more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
The messages coming in from people here. I just want to put this one to you, Suella. This is from Jem, who lives in your constituency. She says, please ask Suella about the illegals coming into Waterlooville. She's saying there's been a leak from Havant Council. She's a woman. She's worried. She does not want them here. She goes, I'm not racist. I just don't want these undocumented young men coming to my area.
And wow, thank you very much, Jen. Is it Jen?
Jem, yes.
Jem. For writing in, because I, like her, share her fear. And there's been a proposal put forward by the Home Office to accommodate 35 asylum seekers in the heart of Waterlooville. And it would be totally inappropriate for that town because of the lack of resources, the lack of facilities to support these people. It would also, I believe, pose a public safety risk. Havant Borough Council, which is led by Labour and the Lib Dems, failed to object to this proposal, and I've launched a petition in the last few days. In 2 days alone, 7,000 people have signed this petition. We are urging Havant Borough Council to object to the Home Office plans, and I've written to the Home Secretary urging her to withdraw her plans. We have to stand up to this, and I'm urging people to stay calm, but to voice their concerns, and it's not racist to do so. If the government were serious about fixing this migrant crisis, it would announce today that it was going to pull out of the ECHR, that it was going to detain and deport illegal arrivals, that it was going to put a freeze on new asylum applications. That would be a starter for 10. That would actually go some way to solving this problem. We are having a massive influx of people breaking into our country illegally because they know we are a soft touch. They know they can use our laws against us, and that fundamentally the rights of the law-abiding, common sense, patriotic majority like Jem are disregarded.
Okay. Suella Braverman, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank
now,
you.
on the small boats issue, a Home Office spokesperson said, we want to end dangerous small boat crossings, which fuel organised criminal activity, put vulnerable lives at risk and undermine the security of our borders. We are determined to tackle the gangs behind that trade, and our enforcement agencies have delivered dozens of high-impact disruptions against them in the past year.
Yeah, and on the ECHR story, the Prosperity Institute is owned by the Legatum Group. The Legatum Group is also one of the lead investors in the holding company of GB News.
Critics argue that this move could accelerate Waterlooville's decline. By renting flats to newcomers, can retail and local hospitality survive? And what message does it send to residents who feel shut out of decisions about their local town? As chants for transparency grow, campaigners are urging the local council to demand public consultation and clarity over the Home Office's timetable and strategy. Protests have now been planned against the relocation as residents' anger boils over. Michelle Dewberry expressed her anger at the situation during her show on GB News, taking aim at politicians for their unforgivable managed decline of Britain.
They'd be struggling with it as well.
But look at that. So that's Waterlooville. That's like the equivalent of their, town centre or whatever. When I look at that, and I find that actually pretty distressing. If I lived there and this, you'd all have your memories of your bustling town centres where all your different shops, many of you will have had Saturday jobs in places like that. That was the heart and the soul of that area. Now, not only has that whole thing basically been decimated, boarded up, look at it, it's empty, it's absolutely just deserted. To now take that and now say, actually, maybe this could be the place that you put people. What politicians have done, of different stripes, by the way, to our country is absolutely unforgivable. Let me show you something that the Tory party put out a tweet today, and that caught my eye as well. Have many of you seen the trend, the Jet 2 trend thing? Well, let me find you this, because basically, in the guise of the Jet 2 thing, the Tories put up, do you want an all-inclusive stay in the UK? Cross the channel illegally. Right now, you can get an all-inclusive hotel stay, taxpayer-funded e-bikes to get around, gambling money every week, and so much more. No need for a background check. All paid for by the British taxpayer. Sponsored by Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. That's what the Tories have put up today. The irony of all of that, by the way, is that picture, when you actually dig into the background of the image that they've used, that picture was apparently taken in 2022 when, you guessed it, Boris Johnson was the Prime Minister. So if I was the Tories, I'd be keeping my mouth shut, quite frankly, because they have got no legs to stand on.
This story raises painful questions about democracy, property policy, and the handling of asylum seekers, and whether communities like Waterlooville are being overlooked in the process. What do you think? Should towns be consulted before such housing plans? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more updates on this story.